get thee up on the mountain of Ephraim, and to the land which I have given unto the children of Israel. And when thou hast seen it, thou shalt be gathered unto thy people, and Aaron thy brother was gathered. Meaning, God is already warning Moses that his death is impending. So he lived another book, but his death is impending. Amen. He lived this other book. At the end of Deuteronomy, the Bible says he was not blind and he had not lost his strength. Moses was 120 years old when he passed away. A lot of people will feel as though if you're 120, you should be rickety and weak, blind in one eye at least. His eyes had never dimmed. His body, he was not lacking in strength. He still had the strength to lead the people, but God said, nope, you come on home. It's time for the predecessor now. Because you were disobedient. You can't cross over. And that entire generation could not cross over. But it's time for the predecessor to arise. So then let's look at what happens with the predecessor. Let's continue. For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah and Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. So that is the charge that God had against Moses. The fact that he disobeyed the commandment in front of the congregation because of the congregation. A lot of the times we are vexed by people, we are run by people, and we are fearful of people. What they will say, how they will react, what they'll do, what they would do, what they would not do, what they'll say, what they would not say, if they're gossiping about us, if they're not gossiping about us. That is all fear-driven. I don't want them in my business. I've been one to say that too. Everybody putting my stuff out there. They need to just shut their little mouths. Who do they think they are? You don't know my life. You don't understand my story. No, you cannot allow the fear of man. So what if everyone knows? What can they do? Can they take my life? Not unless I lay it down. Can they take my kids' life? I'll fight to the end if somebody rise up against my trio. Can they desecrate what God has given me? Absolutely not. All they can do is speak. And all I can do is prophetically decree that their words will fall down and die. Amen? So it doesn't matter if someone knows what you're going through, or how bad you're hurt, or how bad the situation might seem, or how bad it was. This is preacher named Dr. Cousins on Facebook and YouTube. He said, all I need is 2 or 3 people to put my business out there. All I need is 2 or 3 witnesses to gossip. Because all you're doing is perpetuating where I'm going. And we need to take a negative light off of gossip. Now the Bible warns us we're not to gossip, right? Not only will you go to hell for gossip, but in Revelation it says gossipers will have their portion in the lake of fire. So you go to the second death if you gossip. That's your warning. If any of us are victim in here, just shut your jibs. I'm just saying. Lake of fire. But pride would have it, any level, that if someone finds out we get huffed and puffed or scared about what a person knows about us, or what they think about us, or what they spread around. That is pride and fear that is in action. Amen? And we got to be delivered of men in their faces. Period. The kingdom of fear should not have any hold on where God is taking us. The only charge that we should have from God is that we are his child, that he loves us, and that we are walking in his will, his way, and what he has called us to do. Period.